Alright, I'm Chase. Welcome to Freak Shack Gaming. So, this is the first episode of our new series, for City Skylines. And I didn't intend for it to be the first episode, so we're recording this after the fact, and I'm going to do some voiceover just to describe some of what I did. Basically, I had the camera going for the whole time that I created the map that this new city is going to take place on. From the time that I went into the map editor and created it, uploading height map data to pretty much where I moved on to actually building the city. I recorded without the intention of it really going up. It was more of a test. So as we're watching this, I'm just going to kind of talk about some of what was going on for it. And sorry about the quality of this webcam. It's not that great. I would use my camera, but I don't want to deal with it right now, so maybe a future video will have professional looking footage going on. But let's get to it. Creating Bountiful in the map editor. Alright, so here we've got just the map editor open, and it's a blank map, and I am importing height data that I downloaded from terrain.party, which is a website that you can use to get height map data for anywhere across the world. It's really cool. So what I did here is I made some height map data for the Portland, Oregon area, and I'm importing the merged version, and as you see there, now the whole map has that height map data. But I do make some alterations to the terrain because it wasn't quite to my liking for this city. We're not building a realistic Portland. This is its own project. So, alright, so the first thing that I went to do was get the water going. So the Portland area has the Columbia River that separates Washington and Oregon, and I wanted to make sure that we had that so that we could have ships coming into the map, as well as, of course, water for people to drink. But the height map data, it would be really shallow, and I wanted it to be a little deeper. So basically when I placed the water, I ended up digging out a bunch of that riverbed and lowering the terrain height so that we could have a little more depth to it for ships. And I just kind of took the sea level down and dug out the map edge there so that water would flow in as well. Now, I've never been great with water in this game, so it's definitely something I'm still learning and getting used to. I've been messing with it a lot this week on various saves, just seeing what'll happen with water if I do this or do that, or create a stream here on a map. So I'm definitely trying to learn more about it and how much water is enough for a stream or a river. But I'm not great, so I did what I could, and I just lowered the riverbed basically to allow more water to come through. So after I finished building out the Columbia River, which we'll give it a new name in the series, but once I was done with that, it was time to carve out where the Willamette River is. So right here in the map is where there's should be a lake in the real world, but I gave it enough water that it became a stream, and I was okay with that. Wasn't my intention, but I kind of liked the way that it ended up, so I kept it. And then I carved out the Willamette so that ships could at least come in through that area as well, depending on what we decide to do with the city. We may build a lot of stuff along that area, so I wanted to make sure ships could come in. Then it was time to actually put in the ship paths, so I went straight down the Columbia with that. And I had to do a few changes, lowering the riverbed a little more here and there, and just so I could get the two connections at either end of the river. But we got it to work. Okay, so here I tried to create like some canals, because in the real world there are some canals there and creeks and little drainage areas. So I wanted to see what would happen. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to, so I ended up just removing that later and not keeping the water there, but I tried. It could have been really cool, but So then it became time to add transportation to the map. So I tried to kind of follow where the freeways would be in the real world if this was Portland. So you'd have Interstate 5 that comes straight down through Vancouver, Washington, across the river and into the downtown area. I didn't follow the exact path, I just kind of did what felt right, but I wanted to keep it semi-close. Building freeways is something I've never been great at either. So I definitely tried a little more than I normally would here. And you'll probably see me struggle with that throughout the series, but I am learning and I am trying to create better highway systems. So one thing that I wanted to do here is I wanted to have a sunken highway for just a little bit on some of the outskirts of where Portland would be, because in the real world it is kind of like a sunken freeway there. So I don't do that very often. I've never been good at doing that, so I challenged myself just to go ahead and do it for the start of the series. And it didn't end up exactly how I want it, so there's going to be probably a few changes as we continue with this series, but I'm not altogether dissatisfied either. I think I did a pretty good job for the fact that I never do these, and I'm not good at freeways at all. So I'm proud of myself, and I know that I'll only get better from there. So here we started on our first freeway interchange. I had no plan for this going into it, other than that I knew there'd be one there. So I didn't want to use one of the pre-made interchanges either. So I just kind of went for it without really thinking of what it would look like when it was done. So it's not my best work, but it's also not my worst. We may mess with it as the series goes on, but I think for now it's a good start. So I know that this doesn't look that great right now. It looks a little uneven and imperfect. I did actually go through and try to fix some of that with the Move It tool mod. After I created the map and started the city, just as some pre-work for the second episode. I did use the Move It mod to kind of flatten out the bridge and make everything even and a little better. It's still not perfect, but just know that I did fix some of this after the fact. So come episode 2, it'll look a little different. So here, I had to do a lot of terrain modification to put in an interchange. Basically, what this is in the real world, there's this double-decker bridge that the freeway merges onto as it crosses the Willamette. And I wanted to make sure we had something like that as well, just because I think it's a really cool feature. If you watched the old version of the series where we gave up after, well, we filmed 2 episodes but only released 1, and I don't even know why we never continued, but I had done this in the original map. I had done a double-decker freeway just like this, so I wanted to have that feature still in here. So I made sure to mess with that, and once again, imperfect on here, didn't even add all the pillars because I wanted to do that in-game so I could spend more time. So I ended up doing that after publishing this map and starting a new game with it. I went through and added the pillars to the bridge from a bunch of assets I've downloaded and made it a little better. It still is not perfect. There's a spot that it's really uneven, and I'm not sure how to fix it without redoing a few portions, but I'm happy to just be trying new things, and I think the bridge is really cool. I added lights to it and stuff, so it'll be fun. I can't wait for you guys to see that in the next episode. Then of course I went through and added resources and trees to the area. I tried not to do too many trees right out of the gate, in case I decide to like publish the map or something as something for the workshop, and because then I'd have to get rid of some stuff and put some more of the built-in assets than some of these mods and stuff I've downloaded. So when I started the new city and did a bunch of the stuff with the Move It tool, I did add some more trees with the landscaping tools that I've downloaded from the workshop. So it's going to be a little more forested than you see in this episode. But that'll pretty much do it for the narration in this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, we're relaunching this channel. We're dedicating it. We've set a goal to do 80 videos at the very least by the end of 2020. So I can't wait to take you guys along on this series as well as our other videos that we'll be doing. City Skylines will not be the only series that we have going on. We'll be streaming to Twitch, and we'll be doing videos for games like Halo, all of the Halo games on PC and on Xbox One, Gears of War, Call of Duty, all kinds of stuff. We want to try new games we've never tried before as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and subscribe to our channel so that you're notified the next time we upload, which should be really soon, hopefully. And if you want to follow us on Twitch, where we will be streaming some videos here and there, it's still called Freak Shack as well, so you can find us, and we've linked it on our YouTube channel, so you can get a link that way as well. And you can follow us on social media. We're at Freak Shack on Twitter, and we are in the process of recreating an Instagram. We used to have at Freak Shack on Instagram, but I thought we were going to discontinue the name, and I let it go, and someone claimed it. So we're working on getting a new one, and getting that polished and ready for you guys as well. So thanks for watching, and I can't wait for you guys to see the next episode.